Hey, did you hear the big news? After 4 divorces, 6 engagements, and a trail of broken men large enough to field a football team, J-Lo, aka Jennifer Lopez, has announced she's choosing herself from now on. Yeah, okay, darling, like you haven't put yourself first in anything and everything you've ever done in your entire life, right? Translation, she's retiring from marriage, which, let's be honest, is kind of like a serial arsonist saying they're retiring from fire making. Look, I'm not here to bash J-Lo. Well, okay, maybe just a little. But in many ways, I do respect her hustle. And I use that term hustle loosely because, frankly, she's not really all that talented. But she has used her looks, which, again, being honest, I don't find all that attractive anyway. But hey, that's just me. Anyway, she's used the hustle to project to the world that she's a singer, though one who uses auto-tune like it's an oxygen tank. An actress, who basically plays the same character in every movie she's ever made. A dancer, who's more sizzle than skill. And a brand that basically comes down to, hey, look at me, I'm hot at 50. All with a Vegas residency and apparently the undisputed heavyweight championship of the relationship speed run. You have to admit that someone at 50 or so bragging about having 4 divorces and 6 engagements and that, of course, none of them are her fault is pretty darn impressive. But it does beg the question, if at this point you're finally choosing yourself, isn't that more like damage control instead of self-love? I mean, it's kind of like saying, well, after 6 car crashes and 4 DWIs, I guess I'm better off choosing public transportation. And I love how she framed the statement like some inspirational TED Talk. I'm choosing myself. Aww. Yeah, okay, darling. Sounds exactly like what someone would say when they realize that nobody else is picking up the ring tab anymore. And let's be honest, her dating history reads like an Avengers crossover event. Actors, athletes, singers, backup dancers. Hell, over time she's collected more rings than Tom Brady and Sonic the Hedgehog combined. And every time it's the same old story. Whirlwind romance, public declarations of soulmates, a $200,000 rock on her finger, and then poof, it's all over faster than a Netflix series you forgot to finish. But credit where credit is due, though. She is the epitome of today's modern women, and who they all aspire to be. It's why they worship the ground she walks on. They all want to be just like her. Someone who views relationships and commitments not as some long-running series with character development and a real storyline, but more like one of those late 70s, early 80s miniseries. You know, the ones that were like 3 episodes long, all hype, huge budget, star-studded cast, and over before you even learned half the characters' names. That's J-Lo's love life, and really, that of most of today's women. Endless arrays of big build-ups with a couple of plot twists. And then, cut to black, thanks for watching, tune in, never again. But hey, maybe she's right. Maybe marriage isn't for her. Or maybe marriage is for her, but she just haven't figured out how to keep one alive past the opening credits. It's like she's been running a love pilot program for 2 decades now and still hasn't gotten it out of beta testing. Or maybe she's like a casino gambler. You know, always chasing the next jackpot, convinced that this hand is the one, until it isn't. So now, J-Lo says she's choosing herself. And I say, good for you, darling, 2 thumbs up. Even better, good for all the men who won't have to deal with your divaness anymore. Because if your relationship track record looks like the Patriots' Super Bowl appearances, you know, win some, lose some, and cheat your way through all of them, maybe the championship ring just needs to stay in the display case for a little while. And who knows, maybe some of the other ladies who worship the ground you're walking on and worship your inability to keep a man will learn something. Maybe for you and them, this self-relationship thing actually works out. No in-laws, no prenups, no court dates. No having someone to talk to, someone to cuddle with, someone to love. Well, you know what? Let me take that last one back because it isn't really true. She'll always have that one person to love. The one person she's always loved. You know, herself. Which is why, like so many other women her age, it'll end up being her. Just her. And no one else. Alone, bitter, putting all the blame on men, even though the common denominator in all those failed relationships is her. Who knows, maybe, finally, she'll have a love story she can't divorce from.